Kamsi was just 6 years old when he started Primary 1 in Abia State, Nigeria. He came from a very poor background. His family struggled every day to make ends meet. But despite his circumstances, Kamsi had big dreams. He wanted to rise above poverty, pursue education, and become someone respected in the world. He was a brilliant child who always came at the top of his class. But Kamsi faced one insurmountable barrier: poverty. His family could not afford to provide the education he deserved. Yet, there was one person who never gave up on him, Miss Adaora. She was Kamsi's primary school teacher, and she saw a spark in him that no one else did. Miss Adaora believed that if Kamsi worked hard, he could make his dreams a reality. She supported him in every way she could, even buying textbooks when his parents couldn't afford them. From the moment Miss Adaora met Kamsi, she took a special interest in him. He was respectful, hardworking, and intelligent. She always told him that if he worked hard, he could achieve anything. Whenever Kamsi doubted himself, Miss Adaora was there to lift him up, making sure he knew that his circumstances didn't define his potential. As Kamsi advanced through school, Miss Adaora's encouragement kept him going. When his family couldn't afford to send him to university, she was there again, reminding him that if he stayed determined, he could combine work and school. Her belief in him gave Kamsi the courage to ask his father to sell their only piece of land to fund his education, and that sacrifice marked the beginning of his journey to success. University life wasn't easy for Kamsi. He worked long hours to support himself while studying, and at times, the pressure seemed unbearable. But Miss Adaora's guidance stayed with him. After completing his university degree, Kamsi was awarded a scholarship to study in the United States, and that was when his career truly began to soar. He became a successful businessman, amassing wealth and fame. Kamsi never forgot his roots, and his achievements were shared with his family. He gave back to his parents, ensuring that they lived comfortably for the rest of their lives, and supported his siblings to pursue their dreams. But amid all of this success, Kamsi never forgot the woman who had shaped his future, Miss Adaora. Despite his wealth and success, something was missing. Kamsi felt a deep need to give back to his community, the people who had helped shape him. With his wife by his side, Kamsi decided to return to his village in Abia State, where he would do charity work and show gratitude for the life he had built. As he arrived in the village square, he was greeted by a crowd of people eager to see him. It was there, in the same square where he once walked as a child, that Kamsi first saw Miss Adaora again. She was sitting on the ground, trying to catch his attention. Miss Adaora had fallen on hard times, and now she relied on begging just to survive. Her health had deteriorated, and she had no family to care for her. Kamsi's bodyguards tried to push her away, but Miss Adaora, despite her frailty, refused to give up. The next day, Kamsi decided to walk through the village, and as he passed by the same square, Miss Adaora made another attempt to reach him. This time, she shouted his name, Kamsi. Kamsi turned and saw her, frail and weak, struggling to get his attention. His heart ached as he saw the woman who had once believed in him now suffering alone. He ordered his bodyguards to let her approach. When Kamsi reached Miss Adaora, he felt a rush of emotions. He immediately took her into his arms, overwhelmed by the realization that the woman who had once poured so much love and encouragement into him was now living in such hardship. Kamsi knew he couldn't let this continue. His heart ached for Miss Adaora. He had climbed the ladder of success, but here was a woman who had played such an instrumental role in his life, now neglected, struggling, and in dire need of care. Miss Adaora's health had been rapidly declining. She had developed a severe heart condition that had gone untreated for far too long. She had become frail, and her arthritis made it nearly impossible to move. Her joints ached so much that she would wake up every morning in agony, with no alarm needed, just the pain of her body reminding her of the years she had spent in service to others. She lived in an old, crumbling room that had seen better days. The roof leaked every time it rained, and the walls were cracked. Despite all of this, Miss Adaora had kept going, hiding her pain from the world. Kamsi immediately arranged for Miss Adaora to be flown to Abuja, where she would receive the best medical care available. She was admitted to one of the top hospitals in the country, and the best cardiologist was assigned to her case. After the doctor examined Miss Adaora, he looked at Kamsi with concern. "Mr. Kamsi," the doctor said gravely, "if Miss Adaora had stayed a month longer without the medical attention she just received, she would have died. Her heart condition was dangerously advanced. She is lucky that we caught it in time." Kamsi's heart dropped. The woman who had shaped his future was on the brink of death, and he had no idea. It was a hard truth to swallow, but Kamsi knew that he had done the right thing by bringing her to the hospital. He was determined to give Miss Adaora the best care possible for the time she had left. He made arrangements for her to receive ongoing treatment, making sure she never had to worry about her health again. He built her a beautiful, spacious home in Abia State, where she could live in comfort and peace. To ensure she was well cared for, Kamsi hired a poor, kind-hearted widow with a young son. This woman had very little, but her heart was big. She was a perfect match to care for Miss Adaora, providing the companionship and support she had long been deprived of. Every day, she catered to Miss Adaora's needs, looking after her with the love and attention she deserved. The widow's son, too, was there to help whenever he could. For the first time in years, Miss Adaora no longer had to worry about her health, food, or shelter. She had everything she needed, and for the first time in her life, she was truly comfortable. Miss Adaora, now in her mid-60s, lived the next 20 years of her life surrounded by the care she had long deserved. Kamsi's generosity and support transformed her world. She no longer had to worry about her health, food, or shelter. She had everything she needed, and for the first time in her life, she was truly comfortable. Her health improved with the constant medical attention, and she no longer woke up to the crippling pain she had suffered for years. Miss Adaora was able to enjoy the fruits of her labor. The love and care she had given to Kamsi when he was young came back to her tenfold, and it was a life she never imagined she would have. Kamsi visited her regularly, reminding her of how much she had impacted his life. He would often sit with her, reminiscing about the days when he was a child in her class. Despite her frail health, Miss Adaora was a proud woman, and the smile on her face was a reflection of the gratitude she felt for the man who had returned to her when she needed him most. Sadly, at the age of 85, Miss Adaora passed away peacefully in the home Kamsi had built for her. She passed away with a full heart, knowing that her life had meant something, that the sacrifices she had made for Kamsi had changed his life and, in turn, had transformed hers. After Miss Adaora's passing, Kamsi decided to honor her memory in the most meaningful way he could. He knew that she had always wanted to help children, especially orphans. Miss Adaora had grown up in an orphanage herself, and she had always believed that every child deserved a chance to succeed. To honor her, Kamsi turned her old, dilapidated house into an orphanage. The building that had once been a symbol of her suffering was now a place of love and care for children who needed it the most. The orphanage was named after Miss Adaora, and it would serve as a sanctuary for children who needed the guidance, education, and compassion she had given Kamsi. The orphanage would stand as a lasting tribute to the teacher who had never given up on a young boy from a poor family and had changed his life forever. Kamsi's journey came full circle. From a poor boy in a small village to a billionaire with a global presence, Kamsi had achieved everything he ever dreamed of. But the one thing that mattered most to him was not his wealth, but the legacy of love and gratitude he left for Miss Adaora. She had changed his life, and he had changed hers. Her memory would live on, not only in his heart, but in the hearts of the children who would grow up in the orphanage she had always dreamed of. Kamsi stood by Miss Adaora's grave, tears streaming down his face, whispering, "Thank you, Miss Adaora. Your love, your belief in me, will never be forgotten." If you like this story, like, share and hit the notification button to subscribe to know when we drop another interesting and heartwarming story like this one. Thank you.